The spirit gives you a tortured... The salamander's tongue flickers, tasting you on the air. It turns away with a grunt. As you approach, the salamander turns its head away, twisting its snout into the air. It refuses to even look in your direction. As you approach, the salamander... The servant responds with a blank look and a low groan.
What's this? I found something.
A visitor? Such a rare and exquisite pleasure.
The elf tilts his head backwards, but his squinted eyes don't stray from yours.
Call me Riker. Please, do avail yourself of my creature comforts. You've surely come a long way. It's not an ordinary location, I admit. But I prefer to be extraordinary. There is no pleasure in mediocrity. Don't you agree, Godwoken? Don't be so naive. My doors only open on the occasion of truth. What you admit to them, you admit to me. I also see you are not yet whole.
He presses a slender forefinger against his tight lips and hums.
I'm not a generous man, but I could give you what you seek if you offer something in return. A completely fair exchange between sorcerers. You must go to the Black Pits. There's a cavern there. In it, you'll find a stone tablet of considerable value.
He points to the location on your map.
Bring it to me.
Dizziness. It lasts just a moment, but long enough for you to feel the demon's presence. You hear no words, yet understand. It's imperative you accept Riker's bargain. The episode passes. Riker is peering at you intently. He awaits your reply.
I would think that obvious, my dear. You're dying to show off those smoldering talents of yours. You just don't know how to handle them. I can help you with that. I can share my bond with the Source with you, fill your well to the brim, make you a master. The rest of the story, well, it's yours to write. Oh, but heading to the Black Pits would mean tangling with more magisters, and they're such a nuisance. I like keeping my hands clean, you see. It's a miracle of the ancients. Priceless, really, and powerful enough to draw the Magister's attention. I won't bore you with further detail. Suffice it to say, it is safer in my hands than in theirs.
Riker's lips stretch and his cheeks bulge, but you couldn't rightly call his unusual grimace a smile.
I'm a man of taste, as you no doubt see. A relic this significant would make an incredible addition to my collection. Don't deny an old elf his simple pleasures. A promise you'd best fulfill.
Riker bows his head deeply.
Then you'll have the power you seek, if not the power that trumps it. There will always be one greater, you know. Now please, don't let me keep you. Tarquin. Ah, that must be the fellow I found snooping in unwanted places. There are some types, deceitful types, that don't deserve to be among a place of such treasure. He doesn't appreciate what the dead can do for us, my friend.
He turns the back of his hand towards you and waves it back and forth, nudging you away.
Do be sure to see yourself out. These tomes demand my attention.
The dusty staircase leads to another hatch, which is blocked tight. As you push, it budges slightly.
I've spotted something.
The skeleton is old enough for flies to have eaten its flesh, though some of its owner's clothing still remains intact, including a belt with a gleaming buckle.
It's true what the old miss told me. Victor, she said, you can't gamble forever. It's only a matter of time before your luck runs out. Bless her heart.
The bones look properly intact, though its skull is askew, as if the skeleton is looking in a direction it shouldn't be able to. The belt may have been gnawed by rodents and reptiles, but the name engraved on its buckle is unmistakable. Victor. You run your finger along the skull and spine until it finds a fissure. Upon closer inspection, you realize the victim suffered a broken neck. It seems this person took a great fall. You see no blood or signs of struggle. The surrounding vegetation is green and healthy.
Well, there's one corpse that never got a proper burial.
The skeleton is old enough for flies to have eaten its flesh, though you see no blood or signs of struggle. The surrounding vegetation is green. The bones look properly intact, though its skull is askew, as if the skeleton is looking in a direction it shouldn't be able to.
Well, here's one
Paradise
corpse that never got a
Downs.
proper burial.
The shaggy dog keeps his distance, wary eyes sizing you up as his hackles rise.
You run away, everyone here run away, all run from something. Like sticks, balls? Understand, I understand. I ran away from bad man, very bad man. Man wanted to make me spider food. I know, I can sniff. Good and bad. Riker bad. Bad man. So bad. I liked his house. Big garden of stones. Lots and lots of bones to dig. Good, tasty bones. But when I sniffed him, how he is for true, I ran and ran and ran.
He paws a few tentative steps closer and sniffs all around you, nose wrinkling with concentration.
Smell of runaway inside you. Maybe the runaway not good, but you good.
He bounds forwards and licks your face effusively. His breath stinks of graveyard clay and ancient bones. Immediately, you feel an allergic reaction developing on your cheek, hot red blotches spreading in an angry rash. The dog scurries away to sniff about the area, leaving you with his approval and an itchy face.
something.
Can't tell anyone. The Magisters would probably have her killed.
A man paces back and forth, puffing anxiously on a pipe. His face is creased with tiredness. The faint coppery hue of dried blood stains his hands. He sees you.
If you're looking for healing or the like, then you'd best look elsewhere. My plate is full for now.
The man chomps on the bit of his pipe, generating a small cloud of nervous smoke. Finally, he plucks it from his mouth and clears his throat.
I came by a new patient, a young woman, very troubled. I'll do what I can for her, but I'll need to concentrate. And that means...
He gestures with his pipe for you to leave.
I'm still trying to figure that out. She seems afflicted with some sort of rabidness. It makes her difficult to approach and nigh on impossible to treat. I had no choice but to lock her in my cellar, for her safety and my own. This isn't someone with a broken leg who needs to be held still. This is serious and dangerous. I doubt you could help. Fine. You can help, now. Blast it, where'd I leave that ruddy key? All right, help me get into the cellar and I'll join you there. Just be careful. I wasn't jesting before. She was already a powerful sorcerer by the looks of things. But whatever it is that's happened to her, it's left her dead. There must be some potion that can calm her. Be ready
A
to flee
spillage
if
all over the
necessary.
floor. A spillage all over the floor.
Why would someone do this to another person?
Hungry.
Be ready to flee if necessary.
Hungry.
Why would someone do this to another person?
Hungry.
I need to get closer. Then maybe I can sedate her.
Hungry.
Why would someone do this to another person? Why would someone do this to another person? She's badly afflicted, but still powerful. Be careful.
Hungry.
Be ready to flee, if necessary.
Hungry.
She's badly afflicted, but still powerful. Be careful.
Hungry.
Why would someone do this to another person?
Hungry.
Be ready to flee, if necessary. Be ready to flee, if necessary. Be ready to flee, if necessary.
Hungry.
She's badly afflicted, but still powerful. Be careful. Be ready to flee, if necessary. Why would someone do this to another person? Be ready to flee, if necessary. Be ready to flee, if necessary.
Hungry.
Why would someone do this to another person? She's badly afflicted, but still powerful. Be careful.
Hungry.
Across the cellar, a shape bearing some resemblance to a woman lurches around to face you. It utters a marrow-curdling gurgle.
She senses us. Be calm and quiet. No sudden moves. You're right. I hadn't noticed before. Couldn't get close enough. We have to help her. Maybe we can reverse whatever was done to her. All right. We need her subdued, understand? Do whatever you can to weaken her. Just don't go too far, or you might kill her.
Another gurgle, sharper, angrier. Then the sound of rapid footfalls rushing towards you.
too strong. She must be weakened, or there's no way to help her.
young woman lies still on the floor, her breathing an uneven rasp. Swan's satchel of surgical tools lies nearby. Swan approaches, cradling his arm with a grimace of pain.
Those summons of hers broke my arm. I'll do what I can to help, but the rest is up to you. Tread carefully. One false move and she's dead.
Swan carefully holds her head steady with his one good eye. Something moves along her exposed lobe. It's a maggot of some kind. The maggot is caught in the pinch of the tweezers and plucked off in a single, swift movement. The woman's breathing has grown shallow as she hovers between life and death. All you can do is close her up and hope for the best. You try to replace the bone extract. It doesn't seem to line up with the hole very well. You shove it in as best you can and draw the scalp down over it. Your hand passes over the needle and thread in Swan's satchel and instead fishes out a roll of bandages. You wrap the woman's head tightly. The woman's breathing grows stronger, more even. Color flushes her cheeks.
She's alive. You did it. I've never seen anything like that, not in 20 years. I'll tend to her here for a while. She shouldn't be moved yet. She'll want to thank you once she comes round, I'm sure. It's a damn miracle that she survived.
The young woman blinks as she struggles to focus her vision on you. She looks weak, pale, but already visibly more human.
It's you. I remember your face in the darkness. You saved me. The Magisters arrested me in Arx for sorcery. They strapped me to a table and and they put something in my head. Something alive. They put me on a caravan bound for Fort Joy. They said I was going to become a pet for the hammer. I could feel myself changing. I tore off the shackles that held me, like they were parchment. I remember hearing screams, feeling the blood of others on my hands, in my mouth. Then I ran, and then I woke up here.
That was damn fine work you pulled off there. Consider me in your debt. I'll keep an eye on her until she's ready to fend for herself. If you find yourself in need of potions or healing, be sure to come to me. It's the least I can do. That was damn fine work. I'll keep an eye on her until she's ready. Help yourself. Everything I've got. Till next time. Take care of yourself.
Did you expect a needle?
What's that? It sounds like there's a battle unfolding nearby. Looks like this place has seen better days. Much better days.
Gareth toils in monotony. Gareth freezes, then turns slowly towards you. His breaths are steady, his voice a monotone.
I'm digging my murdered parents' graves. I'd ask that you show your respects.
Gareth moves to continue his task, but his cadence falters. He pauses. Silence hangs, begging to be broken.
No, of course you didn't. Godwoken, I've seen Seeker's blood seeping into the sand. I waded through corpses on the deck of the Lady Vengeance. But when the lifeless eyes looking back at you are your own mother's, I just didn't know. I didn't know what darkness lied beyond pain. Now, well, now I do. Dallas's pets. Such helpful tools they are, too. The abominations do the dirty work and the whites keep their robes clean. Convenient. They're still there, spreading their rancid smell through the house. Paladins came to clean up the mess. In the name of Lucian, they say, and they seem to believe it.
Gareth shies away from you. His eyes pass over the half-filled graves, and he takes a shuddering breath.
I'm the one who has prayed. An endless litany. How many pleas does it take? How many tears do I have to shed? How much must I lose for the gods to listen?
Gareth forcefully exhales and looks past you to the nearby house. You fear he might snap the shovel's handle in two.
If you'd asked me yesterday, I'd have said they were the only ones left in the Divine Order worth their weight in salt. I have honored their devotion to our lost Lucians. Today, though, I don't know. The Paladins once fought the Black Ring at Lucian's command. The most courageous thing they could do now is turn their backs on the Order. I'm not holding my breath. I've got no use for empty platitudes. Not for some possessed prankster chosen as the Seven's special pet.
You swear you hear Gareth's pulse, galloping faster than a saddled mount. You've never heard such a thing before, but you suspect Gareth's heart is close to tearing.
If you want to help, then you find the craven wight that ordered their slaughter. Anyone that stands between you and truth, no matter the flag they fly or creed they follow, make them bleed!
His clenched jaw tightens further, and then, in an instant, Gareth's guard is broken. Tears well in his eyes. With every blink, a pearl of grief falls to his cheeks.
My parents, they did nothing to deserve this. They were good. Honest. More honest than me. I'd give my own life to bring them back. I never got that last chance to tell them I loved them. I never got to say goodbye. You're right. There's nothing more to be done here. Lucian, forgive me. And please, Godwoken, please forgive me too.
Not anymore. It's the Magister's property. Let them handle it. Besides, what's the alternative? Guard this door forever?
The two paladins Gareth mentioned are arguing in front of the door to the modest farmstead. As they notice your arrival, they stop talking and look at you quizzically.
We're guarding this house. Wise to stay well back. There's a bunch of silent monks inside who've tasted blood today. Already killed in there, so they did. They didn't kill anybody. The Magisters who control them did. You know Donna, she wouldn't hurt a fly. Not until they turned her. But they did turn her. And now she's not Donna anymore. Get it through your head. The poor creature should be put down. No, wait! Surely, maybe someday they can be fixed. When all this source nonsense is over.
The other paladin rolls his eyes and shakes his head as he turns to face you.
In any event, it's our business, not yours. You just stay well away from the door and you'll be perfectly safe. You can't do that. They were people who were loved. It's not right to butcher them like cattle. You're right. Here, take the key. We'll leave you to it. I don't want to see Donna like that again. You'll remember her as she was, Jad. The real her.
Paladin William nods his thanks to you, and with a last sorrow-filled glance at the house, Paladin Jad turns to follow his companion away.
But, fine.
I'm not picking that up. I could try moving it. I'm not picking that up. I could try moving it.
The lumpen, silent monk stands like a pillar of decaying flesh. So still it seems he is not even breathing. All of a sudden, like a bellows, he exhales a fetid gust right into your face. The stench of rot shrouds you, coating you in a way you fear will never... This dwarven monk hangs his head, as if looking down at his feet. Staring down into his face, you realize you were staring into mutilation. He has no eyes, his empty sockets crawling with blood maggots. The gurgling sound comes from his stitched mouth, though no meaning.
May Gareth always choose the right path. Nothing we didn't see coming. We always knew Gareth was fated for greatness. As a boy, he'd leap through the fields with wooden sword in hand, slaying imaginary demons, protecting us from whatever evil he would dream up. We also knew that good men make enemies. We knew evil would come, and so it did. Not as a demon or as a witch, but as a man Gareth once knew as a friend. Jonathan. He watched eagerly as those shambling husks descended. It seemed like a game to him. Like theatre, we would never blame Gareth. The righteous always pay a price. May the Seven will it. He will always be the hero we know him to be. We always want to believe in each other. It's what separates us from the void. It's what makes our existence worthwhile. It's what we do next that defines us. We can respond with treachery, or we can rise above. I trust that you will. Gareth did his duty. We felt it was only right that we did ours. The farm was always a safe space for sorcerers needing refuge. They deserved a haven, and so we gave them one. Our guests were usually frightened, shy, grateful. They never used their source, so the Voidwoken never came. The last one, though, she wasn't like the others. A lizard named Hanag. We housed her and fed her, robes like a wizard's, voice like a queen's. Voidwoken appeared before long, and paladins after that. She clearly drew the Magister's attentions. Our fates were written. I never thought she meant to do us wrong. I don't blame her for fleeing to the Cloister Wood. I worry for her. May Gareth always choose the right path.
A spillage all over the floor. You see yourself in the mirror. It's quite a sight. The silent monk sways and gurgles, head cast down. He does not resist in the least, merely slumps to the ground with one final
Into the dark with you!
Emaciated of body and spirit, this must be Donna, the one spoken of by the paladins guarding the door. She gives no indication at all that she has heard you, save for a single tear dripping from one eye.
Dark with you!
A spillage all over the floor. A spillage all over the floor.
This Magister didn't die by a sword anyway.
Nice.
Something's afoot here.
Voidwoken! The sorcerer's conjured Voidwoken! Form up! Don't let them over the bridge!
The spectral Magister raises his sword and shield against an unseen Voidwoken foe.
Everything is very dark all of a sudden.
An ancient grave marker. The name upon it has faded away. Time and the elements have left this grave marker illegible.
something.
stench of dead Voidwoken assails you. The thought occurs, sorcerers caused this.
I hate to admit it, but sometimes you can't blame the Magisters for wanting to cull the use of Source.
Source can be used for good or ill. That's what the Magisters need to learn.
To think, this destruction could have been averted if sorcerers had shown some restraint. Perhaps the Magisters are more justified than I imagined.
If the Magister is feeling gratitude for your help, then it doesn't register upon her grim, blood-flecked features.
Move along!
Later.
I warned you already! Keep a...
Bloody shambles, this. My thanks for your help.
He takes a pull from a water canteen, then splashes some over his blood-stained hands.
No, it ain't mine. A sorcerer fugitive was hiding here. Some of the locals were stupid enough to help him. We got a tip-off, but he wasn't willing to go quietly. These Voidwoken appeared, thanks to him. It was messy. A lot of the locals didn't make it, and those that did, well, there's a price for helping sorcerers.
Any trace of gratitude for your help against the Voidwoken drains away in an instant.
Take my advice and don't say another word, hear me? Sorcerers brought this plague down on us. Them and the sort of folk who see fit to help them. They'll all get what they deserve. You can join them if you like. Otherwise you can shut your trap. What the hell do you think it means?
He pats the pommel of his sword, his hand still tinted with dried blood. Little doubt whom it belongs to anymore.
Damned idiot! You are...
The statue gestures towards the heavens, a striking image amidst the graves and sepulchres. Your eyes close. Death's shadows lift. Rain becomes sun. Whatever fear this graveyard provoked is now bathed in brilliant light.
Villagers. Some slain by Voidwoken. Others, perhaps not.
Villagers, some slain by Voidwoken, others perhaps not.
The spirit of a matronly woman stands before you. She shakes her head as she soundlessly argues with someone unseen. A faint sound catches your ear, the rasp of metal upon leather, a sword unsheathed. The spirit's eyes bulge with panic. She raises her arms protectively. An unseen blade cuts through the air with a whistle. The spirit collapses backwards, a silver gash opening the full width of her torso. The woman's spirit lies still on the ground, mirroring the pose of her mortal remains. Be grateful that you don't feel the need. Be grateful that you don't feel the need.
Sir, I don't know what to do.
These people were slain by blades, not Voidwoken.
Buying or selling?
Over here than a dozen rotten eggs
You
dropped
needing
in a
supplies? I'd stock up if I were you, a little more.
Don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit you, ton, who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Not cold for the junk you sell, then.
Don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
What? I offer nothing less.
I don't come visit you, tons. Who will?
Vapid fiction.
Wouldn't you like to know?
Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit you, ton, who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Buying or selling?
Smells worse over here than a
Until later, then.
dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Then don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit your tunnel, who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Keeping it together, Bree?
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Tell me, have you heard any news?
Nothing good. The void woken are everywhere.
Thank the divine you're here to protect us.
Back for a return visit, are you?
Keeping it together, Bree?
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Keeping it together, Bree?
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Keeping it together, Bree?
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Then don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit your tunnel, who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Keeping it together, Bree?
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it. How you holding up?
Not in any mood to talk about it.
Have you anything that will protect against void wake?
I can turn aside fire, cold and poison. But wide woken? God knows what'd stop those beasts.
Cold steel and
Keeping it together, Bree?
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Keeping it together, Bree?
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
Nothing good.
You're safe among
Woken are
friends.
everywhere.
Never forget it.
Thank the divine you're here to protect us.
I. Yes, yes.
How you holding up?
Not in any mood to talk about it.
Keeping it together, Bree?
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Then don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit your ton, who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Keeping it together, Bree?
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it. How you holding up? Keeping it together, Bree?
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends.
Glad to
Never
see you
forget-
well. Anything more?
Yep.
How you holding up?
Not in any mood to talk about it.
Until later then.
Keeping it together, Bree?
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Then don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit your ton, who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Buying or selling? Capital. Good luck to you.
Keeping it together, Bree?
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Executes 24 noblemen for insubordination.
Keeping it together, Bree?
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Have you anything that will protect against food wipers?
I can turn aside fire, cold and poison. But wide welcome. God knows what'll stop those beasts.
Hold still.
Hear ye! Divine order to march against the ancient empire!
Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
I can turn aside fire.
Then don't come over. It's not like you're buying anything.
Wide welcome.
If I don't come visit your ton, who will?
Beasts.
Wouldn't you like to know?
Cold steel.
Keeping it together, Bree?
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Insubordination!
How you holding up?
Not in any mood to talk about it.
Hear ye! Hear ye! Divine order to march against the ancient empire!
Keeping it together, Bree?
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Then don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit your ton, who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Keeping it together, Bree?
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Hear ye! Hear ye! Queen Justinia executes 24 noblemen for insubordination!
Have you anything that will protect against voidwake?
I can turn aside fire, cold and poison. Wide welcome. God knows what'll stop those beasts.
Cold steel, you see.
Hear ye! Hear ye! Divine order to march against the ancient empire!
Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Then don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit your ton, who will?
There's a lot of
Wouldn't you
coal for
like
the
to
junk
know?
you sell, then.
Junk? Why, I offer nothing less than the wisdom of the ancients.
Keeping it together, Bree?
Vapid fiction, along with a
I'm
large
all right,
helping of ham.
as long as I don't think about it too much.
Slain by singers!
You're safe among friends. Never forget it. How you holding up?
Not in any mood to talk about it.
Queen Justinia executes 24 noblemen for insubordination!
Glad to see you well.
Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Then don't come over.
Until later, then.
Don't come visit your ton. Who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Keeping it together, Bree?
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
My word, but you do look exhausted. I bet you could use a touch of magic.
Yep.
Glad to see you well. Until later then.
Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Then don't come over. Not while you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit you, ton, who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Keeping it together, Bree?
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it. How you holding up?
Not in any mood to talk about it.
Have you anything that will protect against void-waking?
I can turn aside fire, cold and poison. But void-walking?
Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Oh, don't come over. Not while you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit you, ton, who will? Keeping it together, Bree?
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
There's a lot of calls for the junk you sell, then.
Junk? Why, I offer nothing less than the wisdom of the ancients.
That protection along the large helping of hand.
Not in any mood to talk about it.
Keeping it together, Bree?
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Oh, don't come over. Not while you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit you, ton, who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Dark veil. Roll up, you bastards! No, sir. If you got nothing to hide, they got nothing to hide.
Hey, Buck. You want an engraved invitation every time? You know the way in.
Sound right? I got a right to live, don't I? Throw 'em in the
Keeping it together, Bree?
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Well, don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit your tunnel, who will?
God knows.
Wouldn't you like to know?
Keeping it together, Bree?
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Your fish stinks of the void. What kind of rat would sell such filth?
The kind that don't fancy starve out it along with the rest of this town. It's all well and good for you with your rations. We've got to take what we can get.
Keep talking, dwarf, and you end up eating sausages from a cell floor.
Ah.
Keeping it together, Bree?
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Well, don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit your tunnel, who will?
Wouldn't you like to know? Today I heard looser than many tongues sing.
Keeping it together, Bree?
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it. How you holding up?
Not in any mood to talk about it.
Your fish stinks of the void. What kind of rat would sell such filth?